jams, discussion topics such as current projects, this day in music, random fun, and special guest interviews from the unique world of Ryan Marquez and his musical orbit. Without further ado, let's get the show started.
And the best is yet to. Best is yet to. Best is yet to come.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen
Yo,
of the jury.
what's
We're
up,
back.
good people of Earth?
All right.
We are back, yeah.
We're back. It's so good to be back.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us over here at Lotown Studios and Lotown Records. This is season 2 of Ryan Marquez live at Lotown. And we've got some really fun stuff in store. We started a couple minutes late, some technical nuances we had to work out here, but
It's all relative, right?
it's all relative. It is. So it's been a minute, and we're excited to kind of get this new season started. We're going to have a lot of fun on this show. Let me cut over to Ryan. There's a shot of Ryan.
Yo.
There you go. Hello.
What's up, good people of Earth?
Yes.
And beyond, because, this could reach or might reach one day.
The Mars rover might be listening right now.
Yeah.
It could be broadcasting.
People on other
Streaming
planets.
live to Mars or from Mars would be cool. You would be like the first concert on Mars, right?
When I was in 6th grade, you know how you had the DARE officer at your school?
The DARE officer, yes.
So my DARE officer was Officer Wolf, and I remember she asked everybody in the class what they wanted to do or what they wanted to accomplish when they grew up or whatever, like that thing, stereotypical thing you always ask kids. And I remember I said, I want to be the first musician to play a concert on the moon, and everybody in the class laughed.
Someone's going to do it.
But Officer Wolf didn't laugh. She told me, she said, she was like, by the time you're old enough to pull that off, they probably have that figured out, so you might just do it.
But the moon is now it's Mars. Mars is the thing.
Now it's Mars. Yeah, it's bigger than the moon.
Bigger than the moon.
Maybe.
So somebody will do it. Probably Elon Musk. He'll fly.
He's definitely in the lead.
Somebody's going to play that first show on the moon. So so a lot of things have happened since our last show. Let's see. New president. We got a new prez.
Yep.
All right.
Such is life.
Such is life. The vaccine. The vaccine has come out. Have you had your vaccine yet? You had your shot yet?
I have not.
Okay. All right. Well, I got the first of my 2 the other day. And I felt like crap for about a day, and I think I'm better now. It's all good. So a vaccine has happened. Both of us got haircuts.
We did get haircuts.
That's an important thing to note. And more important, way more important than any of the things I just mentioned, except for maybe the haircut, is Saint Unity. Saint Unity.
There we go.
Yeah. So that is your new record. And
yes.
It's done, and it's going to be
all
coming
done.
out soon. And we are going to be talking a little bit more about that today. We have a special guest that's going to be joining us. And who's that going to be?
We got Tim Moore in the house. Brother Tim, he, played on all the tracks on the record, is in the house rhythm section along with Theo Harden.
Yeah.
And Tim is the right-hand man, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
I will battle
incredible.
Tim any place, anywhere, anytime against anyone.
He's amazing. Tim's going to be joining us here in a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Saint Unity album, the project. It's like a who's who of incredible top St. Louis jazz musicians, female vocalists par excellence, rhythm section. Just an incredible project, and incredible record. We're excited to be bringing it to the world. And before we jump into maybe a tune, would you do a tune for us? Like, it's kind of rainy here today in St. Louis, y'all. So it's like kind of a nice, kind of cool spring day. So I didn't know if you might be in the mood to do a tune like a rainy day blues or something. And
Yeah,
I do
could
want
do a rainy day
I
too.
do want to mention, I'm going to point this out right here. Today's show is sponsored by Golf Thing Clothing, because you know why? Because
Is it golf season? The Masters just happened, I think, right?
it's golf season, and golfthingclothing.com. The clothes are stylish. They are made to fit, and they look really cool. They feel great. The hats are amazing. There's one right here. And so thank you to Golf Thing Clothing for everything you guys have done for us. And you know why? Because it's a golf thing. That's what's up. So I'm gonna flip it back on over here. Let me show everybody this fantastic hat. Check this out. That's the real G right there. And so yes, thank you to Golf Thing Clothing. Derek Crouch, fantastic human being, and we're so happy to be part of that brand. We're, it is golf season. The clothes are amazing. I wear them just like, I don't really actually play a lot of golf, but I wear the clothes anyway because they're stylish and they look cool and they feel great. So thank you, Golf Thing Clothing. golfthingclothing.com. Go check it out. I'm gonna switch it back over to Ryan. Maybe give us a little musical. Take us on a little musical journey.
Yes. I'm feeling the rainy day vibes. On this rainy day of isolation, writing from my beach on my COVID vacation, I think to myself, what vibration best serves my health in maturation? If fear was a virus, then the whole world done caught it. I'm down for precautions, but step back and rub some love on it. No matter which way you slice it, you can't normalize it. No matter which way you see it, it's still inconvenient. If fear was a virus, well then love the vaccination. People walk around scared like death hasn't always been the destination. It could test your patience, the abundance of mass ignorance, to the spiritual experience of what's cosmically infinite. But you could be the difference. Now I don't mean to sound insensitive, but I'm more sick within from the cognitive dissonance in a world so intentionally afflicted by overtly manipulated tensions. Can we realize we're all in this together? No more hate in the name of God. Let's stop fighting and give each other a hug. Yo, if God had a plan, we must be on the Z1, cause I've seen real life zombies and demons, tired of the anger, tired of the pain. That's why I make bangers now all night and day. You could say we're all fallen angels in a world where every angle is tilted to distract us from what's infinitely now. So you better plant wisely, cause you reap what you sow. Normalize indecency, fracture lives meticulously, bankrupt entire economies. They wanna know, they ought to know. Normalize indecency, fracture lives meticulously, bankrupt entire economies. They wanna know, They ought to know that every day I wake, I am tempted to hate a world where both sides of the news is fake. Staying up early and getting up late takes its toll on you with no food on your plate. My mind oversaturated with lies, over-exaggerated. Every move ridiculously, meticulously calculated. All our thoughts neatly curated. It's entirely antiquated, the way they hijacked imagination. The way the reality has been dictated, past the point of no return. Every bridge has been intentionally burned. No lessons we've learned as we race for the cure, with no logic ensured. It's way past absurd. Forget what you heard. They gave us the bird, then cut off the air. A bit premature. Are you stupid or learned? Hot couture or stinky, old and worn. Plagiarized in abundance, this cultural redundance. The snake's still among us, who seeded our existence. Time for global litmus, enough forgetful forgetness. It's the age of existence, it's time to take it and deliver it. In order to find our infinite bliss, we must realize and remain independent. Natural descendants to heal collective consciousness. It's real world versus spiritual transcendence. From order to chaos and back to singularity, constantly flipping our metapolarity. Inject the world with sincerity every time you inherit the present. Just be in the direction of godly, and all your dreams will be destiny. Real life into manifestation. It's a #1 elation. Normalize indecency. Fracture lives meticulously. Bankrupt entire economies. They wanna know. They ought to know. Normalize indecency. Fracture lives meticulously. Bankrupt entire economies. They wanna know. They ought to know. They wanna know. They ought to know. Little rainy day love vaccination.
Little rainy day love vaccination. Very nice. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Ryan Marquez live at Lotown. I love the lyrics on that tune, by the way.
Thank you, Lenny.
Too cool. So I want to... Tim Moore's in the house with us today.
Hey!
I'm going to jump over to the Tim shot.
Give it a Tim shot.
Check the mic. Try the mic.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Here, keep trying.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
There we go.
Tim
Moore. Fantastic. Drummer, beat maker, artist par excellence. Quick reminder, y'all. Today is sponsored by Golf Thing Clothing. These hats are super comfortable. If you want to be a G, you're going to have to get one of these. They're super cool. Thank you, Derek Crouch, for the Golf Thing swag. GolfThingClothing.com. They have something that will fit you. It looks stylish. It's very good, especially for this golf season. So what I wanted to ask you about, actually, Ryan, right back here behind me, I've got one of your paintings up.
Sure.
Some people know.
Oh, come on, I got to look.
Yeah, you want to see which one? It's from your website.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yep. That's good.
I recognize that.
You recognize that?
Turn that into an NFT.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right.
But yes, you were saying?
Well, I just was curious, how, I mean, a lot of people, some people, your fans may or may not know that you are also a painter. And the people that do know appreciate your work, I think, on a different level, just as an all-around artist. What is it like? What's the relationship for you between sort of painting, music? How do you feel? How is it working in one medium versus another?
Sure. Yeah, I love art. I've always been attracted to beautiful work. Studying music, I think, you naturally kind of get into the spaces where you're around and subject to learning about art. And similar to how art developed, music developed, in terms of styles and periods and such. And so that was kind of my, first kind of look at it from afar kind of thing, because growing up, I went to a performing arts school, and so I got to take art classes from a young age, and kind of at an elementary age. But I think when you're first developing or whatever, you kind of feel like the world kind of makes you feel sometimes, I guess, like you should pick something, do something, and so it's I picked music, and I didn't really think of myself as a visual artist really until my adult life, when I actually, on my 28th birthday, I had this kind of spiritual transformation that year, and I had this prompting to spend my 28th birthday on the top of Cahokia Mountains painting. It was my first time doing art with intention in my adult life, and that was a really awesome experience. My picture didn't turn out anything like I was going for.
Yeah.
And through this process of discovering just kind of this artistic drive to paint inside of me, I have realized that one thing that's really cool about art that I think we forget as we get older is that we can be childlike in those disciplines, and that there doesn't have to be goals, there doesn't have to be objectives. It just has to feel good and be fun. And maybe it doesn't even feel good, but maybe it's a painful process for you, but you work through that, and through that process you learn about yourself. And so what I learned about myself through art that I was able to apply through the music is that I gave myself in art permission to just be a child and to love everything that I did and not judge it, and to just let go and try and mess up and try again, and just not really have any objective. With music, sometimes if you're pursuing that as a career, you can get conflicted with having to feed the creative side of you versus having to feed your stomach, having to pay your bills. So it's in that process, I found with music, my creativity got a little stale because I was so critical about what I was doing, or I was so consumed with making money. If this is a few years back, and then I realized through just letting go through art and not really having an intention to sell it or to make money, or just doing because I truly thought it was fun to do. And it helped me, it bust my creativity and consciousness wide open in the music realm, because then I was able to give myself that same self-love and non-judgment when I'm creating music, to see that a lot of times we tend to get in our own way in terms of limiting ourselves about what we think we can and what we can't do. And I just encourage everybody to find your happy place in art and in music, and art and music are such big ideas and big words that they encompass so many things, that I just believe 100% that every single one of us is an artist. We're all musicians. We all have the ability to connect with this beautiful language, this amazing narrative that has been developed and transcended through the ages of time.
Do you listen to music when you paint? Do you listen to your music when you paint?
I do. I am totally guilty of listening to my music a lot on repeat.
No, that's interesting. A lot of people, a lot of artists, I think, don't. I mean, I know filmmakers and people that, like, once the project's done, they never go back. They never listen to it. They never watch it.
Totally.
That's kind of.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the music that I'm listening to is stuff that's being worked on.
Okay. Yeah.
Either in the writing or the checking on mixes or
right.
editing phase. And but I definitely will put on something that I put out before and listen to it. But then again, I am a huge audiophile, and I love diving deep in the realms of the internet to find music that I've never heard before. That's I'm addicted to that feeling of finding like that song that you never heard. But when you hear it, you're just like, this is my favorite song. I love this. And then you start learning about the band, and you check out the whole album. And, it's inspired. Actually, that process inspired Saint Unity because I went through this heavy phase of feeling like I didn't have enough music in my catalog that was really featuring female voices. And I wanted to just really go on a diet of I think it was like a couple years of I only listened to bands religiously that had a female vocalist as the lead.
Interesting.
And so through that, I was able to learn about a lot of really cool bands, and then that idea seeded with wanting to write specifically for a female voice and to create this project that we've cooked up here at Lotown. Saint Unity.
Yeah, the Saint Unity. We're talking about an incredible group of female singers that are featured, female vocalists that are featured on the record. One of the things that, as a songwriter, that I'm sometimes guilty of. I don't know if you have this ever happens to you, or if this ever happens to you, Tim. But like, I'll go and hear I'll hear some new music or something, and something that I'll fall in love with, and like immediately I'm like, I got to start doing stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
I'll just be immediately like, oh wow, they used a harpsichord. I need a harpsichord on my next track or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah, that kind of tends to happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Also, as a beat maker, like the other side of it is if I hear a song I really like, then the first reaction is also to try to chop it.
Chop it. I gotta chop it. I better sample that. I know, right? That sound that becomes like the foundation for like the next thing, right? Yeah, that's.
Whoa.
That was weird. I don't know what that was.
Machine gun.
The machine gun. Yeah.
That was a sample right there.
That was actually kind of like a sample. I don't know what that
was.
Was.
You want a sample here?
I have no idea what that was. Okay.
I was like,
we have a lot of wires and shit here. Who knows? That could be anything. So let's see. A couple of things we're going to do. Some segments. I do want to. We're going to bring back some segments that we did in season 1. I have some funny little books here that I thought we might dive into that I've been kind of checking out. We have, of course, our jazz. I'm going to put this up here. We have our jazz anecdotes book, because if it ain't funny, to me, jazz is like full of funny characters. The world of jazz is just full of funny characters.
It's a tongue-in-cheek sport.
Tongue-in-cheek sport, yes. There's a lot of like gags and people pull pranks and stuff, and it's just really a lot of fun.
It's a whole lot of saying something without saying nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. So we're going to dive into that here in a little bit. So Tim, I'm going to jump over to Tim here. So tell us what. I don't know what that is. I have to try to troubleshoot that here in the break. So Tim is the drummer on the Saint Unity album.
Yes.
And as I said earlier, a fantastic artist in your own right.
TM Madman on Instagram.
TM Madman on Instagram. We're gonna go into the other room here in a little bit and sit down and actually talk a little bit more about the record. But briefly, if you could just sort of touch on, what's it like, or what was it like, kind of like working on Saint Unity, working on the record.
Well, it was a great process. Initially we started out with just doing a few rehearsals, and it was just initially it was just a really fun project, just because it was new music, and it wasn't necessarily easy music, and so Ryan had told us that he was moving towards making a record, but we didn't quite know the full scope of it yet. So we were just rehearsing some new music, mainly because we enjoyed it
and just to stay sharp.
Yeah,
And work it up, just to work it up.
Yeah. So it was fun to learn the music in a with less pressure.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, he was like, "Yo, this is gonna be a huge project. We got a lot of people involved." And so then actually doing the recording, that was awesome. Doing that here, we came for 2 days. And so, working with you and
Carl Napa.
And working with Carl.
Big shout out to Carl, of course. Big shout out to Carl Napa.
Absolutely.
Man.
And it was awesome. It was what, probably like 8 hours the first day, or
it was like an 8-hour day the first day, tracking drums and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we just came in, hit everything, and I was a little nervous,
That's funny.
But no, it was even though it's a big project, it was never there weren't ever any divas or any like ego issues or anything like that.
Right.
It was all very.
That's important because
very humble.
That is. Pardon me. There's never any ego issues.
The system has gas. It's all good.
Yeah, there's never any ego issues in entertainment, right? So it's refreshing to hear that there were none on this project. So that's
everybody really brought their A game and stepped up to the challenge of just like, finding their voice inside of the project. Because that was one thing that was really important to me was to not only as the songwriter and the arranger, to leave a certain amount of space for people to be themselves and to show up authentically with their own voices, or through their voice or their instrument or their skill set in production or in video or whatever the likes of the,
well, there's some absolutely incredible playing, killer solos all around. The guitar players, and of course on bass we got Theo Hardin. Theo, who I believe is in LA at the moment. Maybe.
Yeah, Theo's a movie star now.
He's now a movie star in LA. Good for him. Good. Yeah, so I don't know what this audio thing is. We'll have to sort that out. But
ate some beans last night.
Pardon me. Wow. So it is a who's who. There's a horn section. I believe we had four different guitar players on the record.
Yeah,
basically.
4 guitar players. The horn section is slamming.
Unbelievable.
Representing like some of St. Louis's best groups. We got Ben Reese in there.
Ben Reese.
He's got the St. Unity quartet that he puts together, as well as he's a longtime member of bands like The Feed, who are big time STL local legends, and also Funky Butt Brass Band. He was a long time, I believe, maybe even founding member in that group. And Matt McKeever on the alto. He's a phenomenal composer and saxophone player. He definitely has his A game on all the time, and he's in a group called Naked Rock Fight with Dawn Weber, who played trumpet on the record. And Dawn is very prolific. She has, I think, like 3 or 4 groups that she goes out under. In addition to the Naked Rock Fight, she's got the Electro Funk Assembly and Swunk, and she goes out as Dawn Weber herself. She is a beast, and I'm so glad that she was able to be on the project. And then Lamar Harris is a legend. He's a mentor to me, and we've shared the stages. So many great performances.
He's incredible.
He's a mastermind. You know what I'm saying? Like Lamar, he's like the real life Batman. You know what I'm saying? He's always kind of like,
that's funny.
He's 2 steps ahead of you all the time, and he's like kind of lurking in the shadows, but then he's in the spotlight, like accepting the awards, but then he's like behind the scenes, like moving stuff around. Like,
that's amazing.
I have the utmost respect and love for.
We're gonna have him come out. We actually did an interview with Lamar, which we're gonna be presenting portions of that interview at the next during the next show, and also putting that out. There's gonna be a lot of St. Unity related content going out, like basically almost on a daily basis at this point, and so St. Unity, that's SAINT. That's the name of the album, and it's gonna be we have no doubt it's going to tear up the jazz charts as soon as we get it out, and it's a fantastic record. So today is April 7, 4/7. So it's pretty amazing how quickly this year is already flying by.
It's pretty much been like a year since we kind of like came together with the idea and started pushing pieces into place.
Yes, yep. And the mastering was finished in February, I believe. And so once again, special shout out to, and I don't know if Carl's listening, but Carl Nappa, NAPPA, a fan.
Carl is always listening.
Always listening.
His ears are always on.
That's true.
Like they're like a million miles long.
That's true. I
The
think he
album
has
can't
like
sneak no
remote ears placed everywhere. Maybe that's kind of Carl's thing. He just has like ears that reach real far. But it's been a blast working with Carl, getting to know one another, and he's just a master. I mean, he was at the Hit Factory for many years. Of course, he worked with Nelly and just big names
like Michael Jackson, Mariah
Michael
Carey,
Jackson,
NSYNC,
just
Brian
people like that.
McKnight, nobody you ever heard of before.
Yeah, just a bunch of mediocre people.
He did the Space Jam soundtrack, which is like
He
literally
did the Space Jam
like
soundtrack.
the five-year-old kid in me was like I went home to my parents' house and got the liner notes out and looked in that mug and was like, Carl.
Unbelievable.
Been a fan of Carl's music my whole life. In truth, like Carl
Literally.
has done some projects that like are really personal to me. Like he did the Get Up Kids record, who
Wow.
are like from Kansas City, and they're like
Yeah.
grandfathers of the pop rock emo kind of scene. They spawned off a lot of bands like Fall Out Boy and New Amsterdams, and like they had offshoot projects, and
Yeah.
but it's just cool. It's just cool how life makes everything connected. It brings all these different ideas to a singular point.
And Carl's approach, if I may say, there's a nice, this record is like we were talking about yesterday. This record, Saint Unity, it's not a traditional jazz record. It's not Dixieland.
No.
I mean, there's electric guitars on there. There's synthesizers. There's a lot of like punchy, stuff happening.
True
Fusion in a sense. We really say, and Carl brings this really wonderful sensibility from having done a lot of hip hop, a lot of
Hip-hop
rock
and
and pop music. With him, it's very much, he can go deep into he can dip into the well with his of experience, and find a different way of sonically expressing an idea that I think not a lot of producers and engineers can achieve. So that's been especially fun. So, well, let's see. Okay, you guys want to know what happened today in the history of music? Should we do that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, here we go. April 7th, here we are. This day. Take my microphone up here.
Take it up to the next
Hey.
level.
All right, this day in music history. So, and this is totally relevant to the Saint Unity album. So, way back. Now, I will say this: every time you look up this day in music history, the Beatles are always on there because
Because their corporate sponsors paid for them to be on.
that's right, and because they were every single thing they ever did
Let's
was
be honest.
chronicled. Just imagine if Facebook existed during the Beatles era, you would know what they had for breakfast every day. You know what I'm saying?
But that's crazy. And as much as people freaked out then with just on the black and white TV,
right.
and print ads.
Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe they wouldn't be as popular. Maybe it'd be diluted, because then it was special, oh my God, I saw the Beatles. But now if Paul McCartney was posting his breakfast cereal every day, he'd be whatever.
Just just think about this for a second. Side tangent, and then I'll just say this one thing. Just think about the fact that in the Ron Howard documentary that came out a few years ago, the Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr were talking about how at every Beatles concert there could be anywhere from 5 to 15 deaths because people got trampled to death.
That's ridiculous.
And they weren't reporting it in the news because they didn't want ticket sales to go down or people to stop coming. And they were like, that's that was a legitimate reason why they decided maybe we should stop touring.
Stop touring because too many people are dying.
Because people are dying, and that's not the point of the
That's
songs.
insane. Well, so back in 1966, Now this is really interesting because this will touch on something that I think will especially interest you, Tim. Back in 1966, working at Abbey Road Studios in London, the Beatles recorded overdubs. Today, on April 7th, the Beatles did overdubs on a new John Lennon song called "Tomorrow Never Knows."
Ooh.
And that song is credited, as I understand, I believe that song is considered and may have been the very first time that sampling was actually used to make a record. And if you go and listen to the song, there's you can hear the tape loops, right? And so you know, in a very meaningful way, the Beatles, in a sense, are sort of credited for like creating kind of sampling, you know, in a way. So that was so they did overdubs, and then they also did another song on this day in 1966, and that is "Got to Get You Into My Life," which was on the upcoming Revolver album. So that was on this day, 1966. Let's see what else we got here.
Just a little plug. The People's Key does this song, "Got to Get You Into My Life."
Oh yeah, the People's Key, one of your other bands, of course, one of your bands.
Yeah, the People's Key, Charlie Serpa, and Mike Morano, and
Got to
my
get
brother.
You into my life. It's a great
Matt
tune.
Rowland.
Such a cool tune.
And Earth, Wind & Fire did that song too. I don't know if people know that version, but
Oh
that
yeah,
version was
that's
slamming.
right. Killer version. That's right. Earth, Wind & Fire.
The Beatles were so popular that everybody did their songs better than they did.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. There's some artists that you can probably had bigger hits with other people covering their stuff than they did.
Yeah, and I love the Beatles, for the record. Like, I'm a huge Beatles fan, and of all of the lore and the culture, and I think, you know, they're one of the top bands to me.
And you have a fantastic, and I would say becoming maybe legendary is a little over exaggerated, but very well known arrangement of a famous Beatles song, a Ringo song, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Ringo needs some love.
Yeah, man. And on the Saint Unity album, and what song is that?
That would be
Octopus's Garden.
Octopus's Garden. That's right, and a fantastic jazz reharmonization version of that with Janet Evra on vocals. Janet, also one of our Lotown artists. A fantastic version of that song. Okay, 1981. 1981. So that's is that 40 years? 40 years to the day. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band kicked off their first full-scale tour in Hamburg, Germany.
Wow.
This was his first tour outside North America, which would take them to 10 different countries. The E Street. Did you ever get a chance to see Springsteen? Have you seen Springsteen?
I have not.
No? Did you ever get to see Springsteen?
No, I have one friend who's like a huge Bruce head. But,
Bruce head, yeah, the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to I did see them once with the E Street Band, full on. Clarence Clemens was still around. Saw them at the Dome here in St. Louis, and you know, one of the most remarkable concerts I've ever experienced. They played like 3.5 hours, and they did not need to play that long. They did not need to play that long, and they did it because they were feeling it. And as I recall, I don't even know if they took a break. It was crazy. It was an insane concert.
I love that when artists do that.
Yeah, they just kept on going. It's like,
you know they're having fun if they're doing that.
Yeah, because they don't need to do that. At that level, you're playing the Dome. There's 50,000 people there or whatever. Like, they could have done 2 hours by, you know, but they just went off.
But see, musicians, like, we're addicted to playing for people.
Right.
That's like what attracts a lot of us.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm here. I got the big ass stadium. I'm gonna use it, right?
Yeah, it's like when in Rome, like, you know, you only get each moment once. So let me get this one and some more.
All right, here's another one. One more. Let's see. I'm going into the 2000s here. Let's see here. Oh, well, actually, this is interesting. Kind of an interesting little tidbit. 2015, Don McLean. Don McLean, who, of course, wrote American Pie. The original manuscript of American Pie in 2015, sold on April 7th, sold for $1.2 million. The 16-page draft, because it's an insanely long song, the 16-page draft had been expected to fetch as much as $1.5 million at Christie's. McLean said, quote, writing the song was a mystical trip into his past. And, of course, the repeated phrase, the day the music died, refers to the plane crash in 1959, which killed early rock and roll performers Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. And that is, it's a great song. Long-ass song, though. It's been long. It's like 10 verses or something like that. Kind of crazy. But that's a really cool, it's a beautiful
story. You know what?
It is a story.
The cool thing about that song is that it's a ballad, you know, because it's telling a narrative of a story. It's like a story in a story, because he's telling like the story of the song, but then it's also telling a story that's stories that are happening in real life.
Yeah.
And one thing, when I was a kid in Kansas City, they had this station called Oldies 95, and every single year they would do the countdown for New Year's for the top songs, like what were the top songs requested this year, and every single year American Pie got the #1 song.
That's insane. That's crazy.
And I just think that's a testament and a spirit to like songwriting, that it's like, you know, that song's how old? 40, 50 years, 60 years old? And it's like, and people love that song, and it doesn't fit a traditional format. It has a lot of words in it. It's a long song, but you know, you play that song and everybody knows like all the words. Like they sing like the verses too, you know? And I think there's something to that.
Yes. Exactly.
Now I have to admit, the first time I was ever really introduced to that song was through the Weird Al Yankovic spoof version.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar.
What is it? Yeah.
He I believe it was after episode 1 of the prequels came out with
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so like the tagline is like, "Mom, I'm gonna be a Jedi," I believe.
Right.
Rather than "This be the day that I die."
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So like it's the whole thing is about.
So it's all about like Star Wars?
Yeah.
I just looked up the lyrics. Let's see.
That's funny.
Oh my, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later. Now he's just a small fry. That's funny. We started singing, my, here's this Anakin guy. There you go. That's how it goes? That's hilarious.
This here Anakin guy. What was
Maybe
it?
Vader
someday later.
Now he's just a small fry. And he left his home and kissed his mama goodbye, saying, soon I'm going to be a Jedi.
That's
Soon
hilarious.
I'm going to be a Jedi. You know, that's how that goes. So,
Dude.
all right. Thanks, Weird Al.
Remember when
That's hilarious, man.
Remember when Madonna did it in the 90s? She brought it back.
Oh, did she? Yeah.
I think it was either late 90s or
Oh.
it was definitely 90s. But yeah, she brought that song back, and she cut out, or the producers, she might not have done it. They cut out like 2 of the verses or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But they did it. You got like look that up. It's weird. It was on the radio.
That's got to be weird. Speaking of Don McLean, one of the most beautiful songs and a wonderful song that he wrote called Vincent. I don't know if you know that tune.
Mm-mm.
About Vincent van Gogh. A fantastic tune.
I know Van Gogh. Back to the painting stuff.
Right, exactly. All right, well, hey, so that's cool. You want to do another little jam?
Yeah, let's do a jam.
Throw a jam down. Throw something down for us, my man.
All right. Say what you mean when you dream life into what can be. Give love to all, hear the call, be the change you wish to see. Serenity, it calls me back peacefully to what's inherent in me. Let go of doubt, walk in love, be the change life allows. Give love to all, hear the call. I'm sure you know how. Serenity, it calls me back peacefully to what's inherent in me. Love is a spin, played to win. It's the highest of highs. Let go of doubt, walk in love, be the change life allows. Serenity, it calls me back peacefully to what's inherent in me. Serenity, it calls me back peacefully to what's inherent in me.
Tasty, very nice. Serenity.
Serenity.
Ryan Marquez live at Lotown, ladies and gentlemen. That song, with full band arrangement, of course, is fantastically presented on the Saint Unity album.
Yes.
And who's the vocalist on
And it
that?
features the amazingly talented and wonderfully wise Miss Anita Jackson.
Anita Jackson. Oh my, she's just incredible. We've had a lot of fun working with her.
Oh yeah.
So this is our Wednesday Hump Day show. We are going to be doing more of these. This is season 2 of Ryan Marquez live at Lotown. We're probably not all the shows will be Wednesdays at 1 p.m. But
You'll have to stay connected with us on the
you'll
social
have to
media
stay connected,
see.
and we're gonna plan those out. And all the events will be listed, of course, on our Facebook page. Today's show is sponsored by Golf Thing Clothing because it's a golf thing.
It's a golf thing.
It's a golf thing. And the hats are super comfortable.
Golf.
All right, now we're going to play a little segment called Bunch of Stupid Questions, okay?
Oh, I love
All right, here we
these.
go. Okay. Now, there's no wrong answer here.
Never.
I mean, there may be a wrong answer. I'm not sure.
It could be an inappropriate answer, an offensive answer,
That's right.
but maybe not a wrong answer.
What, Ryan, what, someone gives you an elephant.
Ooh.
You can't sell it or give it away. What do you do with it? What do you do with it?
Teach it to play music.
That's great.
It'll
Nice.
be in the band. It has to
Nice.
be in the band. It has to pull its weight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to write it because, that might not be the
Teach it
best
to
for
write
it,
music.
But I want to teach it to write music.
To
I want, yeah. Because actually, I saw this elephant that was painting a picture of itself painting a picture. It was pretty crazy.
That's
you can see
insane.
it. You can see it on the YouTube, and it made me reconsider everything about my life when I saw it.
I'm not surprised. There's actually a thing about elephants in particular. There was this is a little bit of I'm a geek out here. I'm gonna get nerdy for a second. But for many years, scientists were wondering why elephants do this peculiar thing where when they stand, they lift one foot up off the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And they discovered that elephants can hear subatomic frequencies all the way down to about 2 hertz.
Wow.
Very low. And so when they do, and that their head, like their cranium, is actually a perfect sort of amplifier And so when they do that, they're actually tuning themselves to the vibrations of the earth, and that elephants can communicate through subatomic frequencies over great distances, like 20 miles, which is crazy. So by doing this, they're like sort of tuning themselves to the frequencies.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
That's really insane. All right, Tim, this one's for you. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
That's tough. I'm gonna say one horse-sized duck.
Yeah. You go for one horse-sized duck?
Yeah. So how I think about this is that, so a duck just has wings, right?
Yep.
So like it can't hit you necessarily. So it's only like it can only hurt you with its bill, I guess maybe its feet, right?
Right.
But I guess like a whole bunch of tiny horses could all be they could all kick you,
It could trample you to death.
Yeah, you could totally get trampled by a bunch of horses.
Yeah,
That's true.
You could probably run from the duck.
A giant. Yeah, and either that or I'll kill it and then have like a giant meal. Really big meal.
Yeah, good point.
But not for our vegan friends out there, because we love you.
Sorry,
all
vegans.
It's okay.
Sorry, vegans. All right. Okay, Ryan. What fictional character do you identify with the most, and
oh
why?
My gosh.
Is that a tough
one? Here's the thing. I wrote a whole concept album called Character Piece that I haven't done yet, but the idea behind the conception of writing the record was I wrote about 8 to 10 songs about my favorite literary characters, and then I personified them through like what I thought they might sound like an alternate theme song, if you will, like my interpretation of maybe like a theme for them if it was in their world, or if they were in my world rather. And so I'll just list some of those because they're my favorites. Obviously, Superman, Iron Man, Professor Dumbledore, Indiana Jones, Peter Pan. I love Optimus Prime. I love a lot of great characters like, I think, the stories of the Lord of the Rings, Gandalf the Wizard is one of my favorite characters. I said Albus Dumbledore, but, the whole Harry Potter world is really cool and influential. Star Wars, I love Star Wars, probably, the Yoda. I wrote a theme for Yoda. I wrote a theme for Wolverine, a song called Wolverine.
Oh, wow.
Those are some of my favorite characters. Cool. So I just like the writer in me and the student of culture and art in me. I love this truth that artists use lies to tell the truth.
That is the truth. That ain't no lie.
That's no lie.
All right. Tim, if you had a time machine, would you go backwards in the to the past or into the future? Where would you go? If you had a time machine, where would you go?
At times, probably the future. Just because probably the future.
Probably the future.
Just because life wasn't necessarily better.
You're right.
In the past.
That's right.
In any way, so for example, being in America, like there's no history in America that I can go to that'd be better than now.
Yeah.
So like, and then I'd have to go to a different part of the world to perhaps not experience some hardship, but then at that point you're also dealing with like not having a shower and like not brushing your teeth.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But some people don't do
modern conveniences. Well, there's plenty of places in the world where you can still find that. That's for sure. I would go to the future, and I would play the first concert on Mars. That's what I would.
Back to the Mars Attack.
Mars Attack. All right, cool.
There's definitely something to that Mars thing.
So let's see. I'm gonna kind of pause us here for a moment, and we'll get situated here to talk a little bit more about the Saint Unity record, and so we'll be right back. And we're just gonna leave this shot here on the screen back here. This is Lotown Records, Lotown, Lotownrecords.com. This is the Ryan Marquez page, and the name of the album that's coming out is Saint Unity, and we're just so proud and like ecstatic to bring it to you guys. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Checking. 1, 2.
Okay, as we get situated here, Ryan and Tim are going to talk a little bit about the Saint Unity album, and I do want to mention a couple of other, not really announcements exactly, but tidbits. Another record that we have coming out with Janet Evra and Petal Williams. For those of you who don't know, Petal Williams he's kind of, you might say, the elder statesman of piano jazz in St. Louis. Well known around the world. He's played Montreux, he's been around, and he's fantastic. And the record was filmed and recorded at the world-renowned Sheldon Concert Hall. It's Janet Evra. Janet is absolutely masterful as well. Bass player, fantastic vocalist. It's some wonderful jazz recorded at the Sheldon Concert Hall. And Janet is also featured on Ryan Marquez's album Saint Unity, and so there's a lot of collaboration happening, and it's just fantastic. We're going to jump over to another camera shot here in just a moment. Let me tweak that, and I'll be right back.
Party on, God. You seen those?
I don't think so.
Oh man, Wayne, classic '90s movies. Wayne's World, Dana Carvey, and Mike Myers. They're really dumb. They're like original Borat kind of vibes.
Yeah. No, I know they are. Yeah, but it's just haven't tell.
Not as creepy as Borat.
Right. Just as legendary.
Just a legendary one.
Okay, we're going to jump out to the production room here with Ryan and Tim. They're going to talk a little bit about the Saint Unity album. So I'm just going to take it straight out there. Thank you once again for joining us today for Ryan Marquez live at Lotown, sponsored by Golf Thing Clothing. And let's just jump straight into it out there.
Yeah. So we got Tim Moore in the house, who played all the drums on Saint Unity. Tim, tell us like one of your favorite memories or like favorite experiences through the process.
Well, so just being the drummer on the project, I don't have to be necessarily as involved with all the intricate aspects of the album. So honestly, one thing that was really cool was coming in, doing the 2-day recording process, and then not really hearing anything for like 3 months, and then I got this link to a Dropbox that had like all the current versions of all the songs, and like there's a whole bunch of stuff had been added to everything, and it sounded like completely different music,
Yes.
So that was cool, like just like coming in doing 2 days of work, and then like waiting 3 months, and then just having like this
Plant the seed and then you come and eat the bread.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. I love it. Yeah, you absolutely smashed it on the record. Like one of my favorite moments is all the times that we were chilling in the studio, and like we would be isolating your drum parts and we'd be like, oh my god, like this is like Tim is killing this groove. This is like, we were like had to stop ourselves from trying to sample you like right there. Like, wait, we got to focus on the record. Like we can't chop this dope drum sample up. Because Tim is a phenomenal beat maker, as was mentioned earlier. Goes by Madman, and
yeah, you're involved with the fresh produce beat battles here in St. Louis. I think you actually got a competition coming up today, right?
Yeah. Doors at 7.
Doors at 7. Yeah, where is that?
It's be down at Ballpark Village, so right next to the stadium. I believe it's 500 person capacity right now.
Cool. Yeah, that's close to the crib, man. I'm try to roll through there.
Oh, dude, definitely.
There's like
Absolutely.
a creative energy in St. Louis, and maybe you can speak more to this. There's this creative energy where a lot of the musicians and artists and photographers, people from all disciplines are just like on fire, with mobbing like everything. Like, who are some people around town or things that are going on that you're just like super proud that it's from right here in St. Louis?
Sure, definitely. Oh yeah, man, that is definitely the case. Um, in every genre in St. Louis, like every genre has, at least a couple bands that could be touring nationally.
Yes.
So,
Will
so
be.
oh yeah, definitely. So I guess one group that a lot of people know in our circle will be Sample Culture.
Yes.
Um, so actually, Chrissy, who is the vocalist for that band,
Chrissy Rennick.
yes, she is also on the Saint Uni record, which is awesome. Um, but so that's her band with Andrew Stevens, and it was just awesome because I went to school with Andrew, and
He's a master
yeah,
producer, keyboard player, arranger, videographer. This man does everything
yeah, no,
really well. Animator.
yeah, oh yeah, and so it's really awesome. It's really awesome to see him going from Webster. Now he was already doing things in music before he got to Webster. Definitely put that out there. But it was cool to see him at Webster and then see him grow to the band they have now. Um, there's Tonina, who was
Yes.
featured on I believe the 2018 on Obama's 2018
Yeah.
Spotify list, and so as a result,
Internacional.
yeah. So they've toured South America and Europe. Definitely check them out. And then as far as the beat scene goes, like there's a whole bunch of great producers around. I guess two that I would highlight. One there's a guy named Mad Keys, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I believe he just moved to Virginia, so he's not necessarily St. Louis anymore. But
we'll still let him get a pass because
Yeah.
he might
this will
come
be the
back.
first and last time, that
Yeah.
he gets a plug. But he's awesome, and then there's a younger guy who's like a freaking genius, Owen Ragland, who's been doing a whole bunch of awesome
Owen.
stuff. Really awesome. And he also does video and that sort of thing too.
Owen is
Um,
killing the game.
Yeah, just super talented.
Killing the game.
We got Katera, who's a great singer.
Katera Parsons, yes.
Great beat maker, writer, pianist. I went to school with Paige Alyssa, who's also a great performer, great singer.
And also
Uh,
on Saint Unity.
Also on Saint Unity. Sorry. Great producer as well. She makes a lot of her own beats too. So.
I love her music and her band too. Like, you mentioned Sample Culture and Paige Alyssa, and I just want to point out that both of those bands, while every band in St. Louis has kind of a rotating cast of family that hops in and out, but their mainstays in both of those groups are the powerhouse rhythm section of Daruba Shakur and Ted Brookins.
Yeah, and they also make up the rhythm section for Frankie Doo-Wop.
That's right.
As well. And I caught her show at the open air, and they were slamming that whole show.
I love those dudes. Those are the homies, and like, it's so cool to see your friends like in their element, thriving, doing what they do best as a collective. And we've both played with everybody pretty much that we've been mentioning, and it's so cool to have a family of musicians here that truly feels like that. Like, we're not super competitive. I mean, you know, we definitely take pride in our work, and we all definitely hold our space down in the scene. And there's like friendly competition in that we are always watching what each other's doing, and you know, every time, you know, it's like Sample Culture got a write up in jazz is, and it's like, oh yes, we're so happy for them. All right, how do we get in jazz is? You know, but it's like it's really fun to just all be out pioneering on behalf of St. Louis, uh, and representing our great music scene here that known about it for, you know, it's been marinating for a long time, like longer than some of us who are in it right now have even been here.
Yeah, and the great thing about our generation in particular um, is that that sense of community. I've talked to a few older musicians in town, and they always talk about just how much, like for example, drummers like just wouldn't ever talk or hang out.
Yeah.
And not that um, not that drummers that were always hanging out with each other, but it's never any, like there's never any tension. But that being said, like I am really cool with Deruba, for example, and so he and I are in a very similar space as far as you know, like jazz and R&B, and then also doing hip hop beats. And so as a result, we've gotten together on a couple beats. You know, we did that, and then we worked on an event that we have coming up at the top of May, the first Friday in May, down at BB's. And so it's really awesome just to have another drummer who, even though you guys are in the same space, you know, you guys can definitely work together and make things happen. That being said, the Fresh Produce Beat Battle people decided to put me and him against each other tonight in the beat battle. So
On the first round.
first round. So even though that's the homie, and it's great to work
They're
with
going
him.
so basically you're getting the
gotta take 'em
show
down,
on the
man.
first round. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So
You're gonna know who wins on round one.
yeah. So you know, like there isn't competition except for tonight, and there's competition. But
Yeah, but it's all friendly, and it's all in the name of music and community and creating excitement around original content. I think that's the most important thing for our city right now to note, is just that we have original ideas. We've been through a lot of stuff as a community and a city here. There's a lot of energy that's been tense in the past, and anytime you have tension, as you know, in geography or if you study the science and the elements and things, when you have tension, that's when things transform into other things. And I really am excited because for every action, there's an opposite and an equal reaction. And so while maybe some people on a national spotlight maybe have heard this or that or seen this or that coming out of St. Louis, like the amount of love, energy, and healing power of music that is permeated and coming in full force right now, and even now until forever in this moment, is just so enormous and so beautiful that I am truly excited to be sharing Saint Unity with the world and everybody.
yeah, absolutely, man. It's just a great idea to get all different things on the same project because you know even though we do have a community here, it's great to have a central project where you can get all different sounds of St. Louis, all different musicians, and so yeah, I just really hope. Well, I really believe, not hope. I really believe that people will really respond to this. As I gotta say, I've heard most of the songs after they've been mastered, and like it sounds amazing. Like the Call definitely did his thing. It sounds great, so I definitely think people are gonna respond to it.
Yes. We hope that, or if you want to stay more connected with the Saint Unity world, you can check out lowtownrecords.com, and there's all merchandise and information. There's a really cool logo designed by Mike Fullman that's going to be that you can get right now on hats and T-shirts, mugs, And supporting the mission that's important because it'll help us be able to take this St. Louis message, this St. Louis sound to the next platform, to the next level, to the whole state, to the whole country, to the whole continent, to the whole world, to the whole solar system, to the whole universe and multiverse and beyond. And so check out lowtownrecords.com. There's going to be a whole bunch more guests from St. Unity, and we'll be, featuring more video content, more behind the scenes information, as well as playing you some of the music live and from the actual record. And so with that, I'm going to kick it back to my brother Lenny Mink in the production control room.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Tim Moore. Thank you, viewers. We've had a great time today on this special Season 2 opener of Ryan Marquez live at Lotown, sponsored by Golf Thing Clothing, because it's a golf thing. Get yourself some of that at golfthingclothing.com. You can visit us at lowtownrecords.com, learn more about Ryan and our other artists, and of course the Saint Unity Project, SAINT Unity. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time. We've had a blast today, and we'll catch you when we catch you. Take care, y'all.